The federal courthouse in Alexandria buzzed with anticipation. Journalists, legal analysts, and curious onlookers packed the gallery, all waiting for what was expected to be a historic ruling. At the center of it all sat Elon Musk, tech titan, provocateur, and now, defendant in one of the highest-profile regulatory cases in recent memory. The courtroom fell into silence as Judge Anthony Trenga entered. A respected figure on the federal bench for nearly 20 years, Trenga was known for his rigorous standards and icy composure. Today, though, there was a tension in his voice as he raised the gavel. This court finds that Mr. Musk knowingly made materially misleading statements regarding the production capabilities of Tesla's Austin facility, he said. Such statements affected billions in market value and misled investors in violation of securities laws. Gasps swept through the courtroom. Musk didn't flinch. Accordingly, Trenga continued, this court imposes a civil penalty of $500 million to be paid within 30 days. For a moment, everything stood still. SEC attorneys allowed themselves brief smiles. Reporters dashed for the exits to break the news. But Musk remained calm, almost unnervingly so. He leaned in and whispered to his lead attorney, Michael Friedman. Friedman stood. Your Honor, we request leave to submit new exculpatory evidence. It was withheld by the SEC and only came into our possession 3 days ago, via a whistleblower from inside the commission. Judge Trenga froze mid-motion. That is a serious allegation, Mr. Friedman. Friedman handed over a thick packet of documents. These emails and reports, authored by the SEC's own engineers, show Tesla's Austin facility was, in fact, meeting production targets. The judge's expression darkened as he flipped through the pages. We're taking a 30-minute recess, he said, rising from the bench. When we return, the court will address this matter in full. As murmurs spread and reporters rushed back to their seats, Elon Musk sat quietly and said, almost to himself, I don't want to take them down. I just want the truth to matter. 30 minutes passed. Then 40. The courtroom, once noisy with speculation, now sat in tense anticipation. When Judge Trenga finally re-entered, his face was unreadable, but his eyes carried weight. He adjusted the microphone slowly and began. Having reviewed the documents submitted by the defense, he said, this court finds substantial evidence of serious discovery violations and potential misconduct by the Securities and Exchange Commission. A collective breath was held. Even the SEC's legal team, once confident, now sat rigid. Catherine Reynolds, their lead attorney, didn't blink. These documents, Trenga continued, include internal communications contradicting the SEC's public claims. They show that Tesla's Austin facility was, by the Commission's own analysis, operating in alignment with Mr. Musk's statements. He paused, then looked directly at Reynolds. Do you deny that your technical team reached those conclusions? Reynolds hesitated. The situation is more complex than. That will do, Trenga cut in, his voice cold. This court vacates the $500 million judgment. Furthermore, I am ordering an immediate investigation into the SEC's handling of this case. Gasps echoed. Reporters who had already filed headlines about Musk's defeat now typed furiously, stories unraveling in real time. Reynolds stood, struggling to maintain composure. Your Honor, we request time to conduct our own internal. No, Trenga interrupted sharply. The Commission is not in a position to investigate itself. This matter is being referred to the Department of Justice's Office of Professional Responsibility. Musk remained still, hands folded in front of him. The courtroom no longer saw a defiant billionaire, but someone listening carefully to the weight of the moment. After a pause, he stood. Your Honor, may I speak? Trenga considered it, then nodded once. Musk stepped forward, voice steady. I appreciate the court's commitment to truth. While I'm relieved, I recognize that my public communication style has caused confusion. That's on me. Gasps gave way to silence. No smirks, no memes. Just sincerity. This has been a humbling experience. I understand now, words from people like me carry weight. I'll be more careful. Judge Trenga's expression softened, if only slightly. This court appreciates your statement, Mr. Musk. And with that, the tide turned. The courtroom stood as Judge Trenga exited, but it wasn't just out of protocol, it was out of respect. Respect for the law, for truth, and perhaps unexpectedly, for Elon Musk, who had just shown a side few had ever seen. By nightfall, headlines had flipped. SEC scandal erupts. Musk vindicated. Judge Trenga vacates $500 million ruling in shocking turn. Cable news anchors called it a seismic shift in regulatory accountability. Legal experts used words like precedent-setting and institutional reckoning. Tesla's stock, which had plummeted earlier in the day, rebounded within hours. But for Musk, this wasn't about money. Not anymore. 2 days later, the Department of Justice launched a formal investigation into the SEC's conduct. 3 high-ranking officials, including Catherine Reynolds, were placed on administrative leave. In a rare public statement, the White House affirmed its commitment to regulatory enforcement rooted in fairness and transparency. At a technology summit in Austin the following week, Musk addressed the incident with newfound gravity. Having $500 million hanging over you, even temporarily, changes you, he said. I've realized that building something meaningful isn't just about innovation. It's about trust and communicating with clarity. Observers noted the change. His posts on X became more thoughtful. Investor calls featured fewer jabs and more substance. The brash showman hadn't vanished, but something had shifted. As for Judge Trenga, he became a symbol of judicial integrity. Law schools invited him to speak. Articles praised his commitment to principle over pressure. In a rare interview, he said, "What moved me wasn't just Mr. Musk's growth. It was watching the system work, seeing truth push through layers of assumption and win." Months later, Musk and Trenga sat together for a joint panel discussion at Georgetown Law. When asked what the case meant to him, Musk said, "It would have been easy to pay the fine and move on. But sometimes the harder path matters more, because it tells people that truth still means something." Trenga nodded, adding, "No one, not a billionaire, not a government agency, is beyond scrutiny. That's the soul of justice." The case became a landmark not just for what it decided, but for what it revealed. That power, when checked by truth, becomes part of a system that works not just for the powerful, but for all.